What's up, Pirates? Wraith here with Awaken TCG, and today we have a very special video. As you can see by the title, it is Intro to Rebecca. Disclaimer, this video is not here to make you an expert. It is just to show you the ins and out. Like it says in the title of the video, it's an intro to this deck. Here we have a sample deck list. We got the Rebecca leader, Kuzans, Ideos, Orlumbus. We got some blockers, 3,000 worlds, some clear. Our 2Ks, Luffy's. We have a bunch of stuff here. So go ahead and pause this video right here so you can take a look at it. But we're going to go ahead and go right into talking about this deck. For starters, the pros and cons of this deck. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the cons. Personally, one of the biggest cons is the leader cannot attack. This leader cannot attack, which in turn makes it very hard for you to whittle down the opponent from the beginning of the game, right? Turn 2, you should be able to attack, but not with this leader. As it states on the leader card, it specifically says it cannot attack. Moving on, it's too reliant on key pieces. So this deck, you really need to see a few key components in order to make the deck run and for you to have an easier time to win a game. With that being said, I have it under cons. Last but not least, it's hard to master. This deck has a steep learning curve, and I personally think that you can get better results with easier deck rather than having to play this deck at a really high level in order to do the same. So we're going to talk about some pros. It has amazing removal and combo plays, probably the best in the OP04 meta. Another one is it has amazing card draw. You can search and you cycle your hand. So the potential there to see what you need is really high, which is always really good. Moving on. Here we're going to talk about some key combo starter cards. So as you can see, we have Kuzan, Tashigi, and Orlumbus. Kuzan, obviously everyone knows what it does. It's from OP01. As long as it's on the board, every character your opponent has on the board has a -5 cost, which allows different cards to make use of that. And we have Tashigi, -2 cost. And one I didn't add here that I left off that I do see some Rebecca list run is the Suru, the on-play 2K counter, where it also reduces the cost. And then Orlumbus, being able to trash one of your characters and give an opponent's character -4. But you have Kyros, which can essentially -4 cost. By trashing the Kyros, you just rest your leader or your stage and your Kyros is fine, and you're still able to use the ability. So these cards are the key components in the deck that allow you to have an easier time to win games and keep the board in your control. Next up, we have our combo finishers. I just called it combo finishers. I didn't know what else to put. Basically, Kyros has an effect where it KOs a 1-drop, as well as Leo, and 3,000 worlds can bottom deck a 5 or less. Now, let's go back for a sec. Imagine you have a Kuzan on board. Boom. Everything 6-drop and below can be KO'd by dropping a Kyros, by dropping a Leo, and any 10-drop automatically gets killed or automatically gets bottom decked by 3,000 worlds. So these cards here put your game plan into action and allow you to actually control the board. Next up here is some of our draw power. We have Rebecca. Rebecca is a 1-cost searcher where you reveal the top 3 cards. You pick one Dressrosa type and then you trash the other 2. This deck really heavily relies on having cards in trash, so playing this card and putting 2 into your trash is actually very beneficial. Rebecca's leader effect: once per turn, you rest 1 Dawn, and if you have 6 cards in hand or less, you can look at 2 cards from the top of your deck. You put one in your hand and then you trash the other. So that is another potential draw you can have every single turn. Yes, you can do it turn 1, going first or second as your first action. Sabo, you draw 2 cards, trash 2 cards. So this is a great card to use when you're not seeing your key pieces and you need to really cycle your hand. Trash some cards you don't need and hopefully you draw what you do with Sabo. Next up, we have the defensive option. So this deck runs quite a bit of blockers and a nice amount of 2K counters in order to be able to defend yourself late game against attacks while you're trying to control their board. And so when your opponent goes for lethal, you have a lot of 2Ks to block with and a lot of blockers. Next up, we have our offensive options. So here we have Kyros. One of the big things with Rebecca is you have to be able to play a Kyros early on in order to continuously swing 5K. You basically use Kyros as your leader. So Kyros has an ability when it is KO'd, it can instead rest your leader or stage. So if you drop a 1-cost stage and you attack with your Kyros, your opponent has to swing in 3 times to the Kyros in order to actually kill it. And so that deters your opponent from ever having to swing at the Kyros. So imagine if you have multiple Kyros on board and you're swinging 5, 5, 5. Your opponent has to take those, and he can't swing at the Kyros unless he wants to forfeit that attack, essentially. Monkey D. Luffy, another great offensive option. This card can be restood once per turn if you put 7 cards from your trash into the bottom of your deck. But then, obviously, the Luffy cannot stand for your following turn. But when you're going for game and you combo with something like Gum Gum King Kong Gun, as you can see here right above me, this card gives you 6,000 power for 3 Dawn. So you're getting 2,000 power for every 1 Dawn, which is super good value just off that effect alone. And then on top of that, if your trash has 15 or more cards, this character would gain double attack. So let's say you King Kong Gun the Luffy, boom, now he's instantly online for 13k with double attack if you have 15 in trash. Then on top of that, you can put 7 cards from your trash, swing another 13 with another double attack. This Luffy alone is capable of doing some crazy 4 life turns where it swings double attack, and your opponent cannot block out. So this combo here can win you games surprisingly, believe it or not. Even just using King Kong Gun on something like a Kyros, you're swinging 11k double attack at your opponent, and if they're in vulnerable positions because you were controlling the board, you can win off of 1 turn really easily. That is enough of the offensive options. Here are my closing thoughts on the Rebecca deck. I do believe it is a strong contender in the meta. You guys will see soon enough once the deck actually releases with OP04. I believe it will be sitting in the top 5. This deck is a little hard to play and it's not easy to master. So I believe that if you want to play this deck, just be prepared to put in a lot of work to figure out matchups and play like that top 1% of players in order to get those results you want. Number 3, this is one of the best control decks. It is extremely strong when it comes to control. This might be, in my opinion, the strongest control deck in the game, up there with potentially Blue Croc. That is another great control deck. If you like control playstyle, go ahead and try this deck out. This might be the deck for you. On top of that, this has good matchups against Zoro, Law, and Whitebeard. It honestly crushes those decks. So if we do end up seeing a Zoro, Law, Whitebeard meta returning, depending on if the restrictions are lifted or not, this might be the best pickup for that meta. All right, Pirates, I'm going to show you one clip of some gameplay before we close this video out. All right, guys, now we're going to go ahead and get into some gameplay. All right, we're doing a mirror match. I kind of just want to show off some of the combos that you can do and some of the things you're able to pull off with Rebecca. So I feel like we're going to keep here, and we are going second, which is fine. So that means we can double search. They search, you search, we found Coliseum, and I think this is okay. Well, would we rather play this or this first? We can go ahead and play the Coliseum. I think that's fine. So next turn, instead of playing Rebecca, we can just Kyros into search. That should put us at 6 cards where we can search with leader effect again. That allows us to keep 1 extra card in hand rather than playing the Rebecca for a body. Because once we have Kyros on board, we should be okay to just Orlumbus the Kyros rather than actual having to have bodies. So yeah, I think we just Kyros here and we search. There's our Orlumbus. Probably one of the one of the best cards in this deck. It just allows you to, you know, start your engine and just start clearing board. You have so much control with this on board. So there's his Orlumbus, but it might be too late. Okay, well we don't have a Leo, because if we had a Leo, we can Orlumbus, cost -4, and then we just Leo to KO it, or a Kyros. We can try to look for one though. That is because we have 6 Dawn, so we play one for Rebecca. We unfortunately didn't find it, so we'll have to go Sabo here. And then I think we just 3,000 worlds, swing. We can swing 6k. It doesn't matter too much. He probably takes the 5 anyway. Or he's gonna give me a 2k, which probably best case scenario. We really need an either a Leo or a another Kyros would do, because we have our Orlumbus ready. We're gonna be at 8 Dawn, So yeah, we would be able to Orlumbus, Kyros, anything he drops. So like even this here gets KO'd with with a Kyros or a Leo. So there's his Orlumbus. Unfortunately, we still don't have one. We never swing Kyros because of his effect. He can tap his leader and it won't die. So I think first things first, we bottom deck Orlumbus. So that's 2 bottom decks and 1 in its trash. So the odds of him getting 1 more out are really slim. And then I think we can go ahead. What's okay? Just in case we draw Kuzan, I think we swing and then Orlumbus of our own. And as long as he doesn't have an Orlumbus on board, we're okay. Like he can 3,000 worlds our Orlumbus, which is fine. But we should be able to cycle some of our cards next turn. So Sabo, yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do. Sabo, cycle our cards, maybe try to get a 10 drop Kuzan. Try to find some Leos. Here we can't KO with effects, which is totally fine. So here we just no block resolve. We tap stage. I'm not sure what he's going for there. And then, okay, that's fine. I think we do, yeah, I think we do this here. Make him tap leader. Okay, so he tapped leader, and then we have this, so we can cycle. We'll get rid of this, and then we'll go ahead and swing. See, there we go, we got it, and then we cycle 1 more time. Or we could leader effect for 1 and play Tashigi or a blocker. Because what do I get rid of here? I think this is the better play. We do this. There's our Kuzan. We can't draw anything. That's kind of unfortunate. We had to throw that away. But I think we just probably just block her up and pass. So he's really starved of resources here compared to us. Both at 5 life. So there's the Luffy, which is still okay. So he drew an Orlumbus. That's fine. We can Luffy next turn anyway. Probably get rid of his Luffy. The play definitely was to Sabo. Oh, okay. Well, we didn't get to do too many combos, but you kind of get the idea of what you want to do. As long as you have your cards and you play them properly, having a board control is pretty simple. All right, Pirates, thank you so much for staying until the end of this video. I really appreciate you guys because you guys have been showing so much support to us, subscribing to us, liking our videos. So go ahead and do the same here. Make sure to like this video, sub to our channel. We're going to continue to drop daily videos, yes. As long as you guys keep supporting us, we're going to keep doing what we have to do to get this content out. Anyways, thank you so much. Like this video, sub to our channel, comment down below what deck you're going to be playing for OP04. Anyways, stay tuned for more intro decks and stay tuned for more content. We appreciate you guys. You guys have a nice day. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.